All right, so to make our color drop flowers, you need some paper. Now I have watercolor paper. If you don't have watercolor paper at home, that's fine. You can use white construction paper, or even just white copy paper will work too. You need a paintbrush, and you need some watercolors. Now, I know that some of you may not have watercolor at home, so I'm going to teach you a little trick that you can use instead of watercolor. So if you have some aluminum foil and a marker, you basically can have watercolors. So what you do is you just color on your aluminum foil, and then you dip your brush in some water, put it onto the marker on the foil, and voila, you now have watercolor. So if you don't have a regular set of paints, of watercolor paints, then just get your markers out, get your aluminum foil, and you're good to go. I like that little trick. Okay. All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to start with the three primary colors. So yellow, blue, and red are the three primary colors. You can't mix other colors together to make those colors. So those are the ones that we are going to start with. So I'm going to, here's my water. I'm going to get my brush nice and wet. And you do have to use a lot of water when you're doing this. And I'm going to start with red. Let me show you all my watercolors. I have a lot of watercolors because it's my favorite. You know what, let me just move this over here. It's on a spin table. So I've been collecting watercolors for a really long time, and I've got lots of really cool colors. All right, so I'm starting out with red, and I'm gonna get a lot of paint on my brush, and I'm gonna start over on the right side of my paper. I'm just kind of dabbing my paint, and there's a lot of water on there. Now that's going to be my flower. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my stem by taking my paper, and I'm going to put a paper towel right here because I don't want to get my table more messed up than it already is. And I am basically just tapping my paper, and whoops, there you go. Look what happened. The water that was in that blob of paint dripped down, took the paint with it, and it made a really cool stem. Okay. All right. My next color that I'm going to do is, let's do yellow. I'm going to do the same thing. Get a lot of water on my brush. I want it to be really juicy. Now I don't want my next color to be in exactly the same spot as my first one because I want some variety. So I'm going to make my yellow up higher. I'm going to make it even a little bit bigger, kind of a different shape. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the red flower. Tilt my paper, tap, tap. Might have to tap it and oh, look what it did. That's cool. It kind of has a double stem. All right, now I've got my red, my yellow, and now I'm going to make my third primary color, blue. Okay, same thing. Get lots of water and paint on your brush. I'm going to make this one kind of short. Maybe a little bit longer and thinner than the other two. Okay, now ta-da! All right, so I've got my three primary colors over here on the right side of my paper. Now I'm going to do the secondary colors. So if I mix together red and yellow, I will get orange. And I have orange, so I'm going to go ahead and just use it. If you don't have orange, you can mix together your red and your yellow to make orange. Let's put one right here. Okay, make this one a little bit wider. Okay, so that one is not coming down. That means that I need to add some more water or maybe even a little more paint. Whoops. There we go. Okay. All right, you know what I'm going to do right now? I want to stop while my stems are still and my flowers are still wet. So maybe after you do like 2 or 3, if you want to, you can, oops, I just dripped some water. That's okay, it makes it more interesting. As a matter of fact, we may even do some paint splats later. But I'm going to add some green to make my stems. And the way that I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna get some green on my brush, and I'm just going to lightly dab it. Keep hitting the stand here. Let's see. Just right at the base of the flower, and it should travel down through the stem. See how it kind of blooms like that? It's really a cool effect. Okay, and then I'm gonna, and the green will make its way down. And you can, I have a really tiny brush. I'm gonna use my tiny brush to add a little bit more green. Oops. Okay. All right, so we're still working on the secondary colors. We just made orange, which is what you get when you mix yellow and red together. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna use the secondary color that you get when you mix yellow and blue together, and that is green. Make this one. Maybe make it a really tall one. There we go. Okay, and then tap, tap. There we go. And my third secondary color, when I mix together red and blue, is purple. Okay, and now I don't need to add green to my green flower, but I'm gonna put, and I don't even know if the green will show up on this purple because the purple is super dark, so, but let's give it a try. Yeah, it does. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I have my primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and my secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Ooh, I love the way that green looks on the purple. Okay, now I'm gonna make some leaves, which is super easy. You just get some paint on your brush, and you're kind of using your brush like a stamp. So just kind of lay it down on its side and gently press it down on the paper. And there you go. All right, so there you have it, your flower drop, watercolor drop flowers. And you can always go back and add more flowers if you want. I did my primary and my secondary, and then I added some other shades just because I thought that it was really fun, and I just wanted to add more flowers and make it look even more filled up. I also did some splatter painting on my other one, which is kind of fun if you want to do that. And all that you have to do for splatter painting, I have this fan brush, which you guys probably don't have a fan brush at home, so I'm not going to use that to show you how to splatter. But all you have to do is get, let's see, I'm going to get some green. I'm going to splatter with green. Get a lot of paint and water on your brush, and then you can just use, I'm going to just use this marker, and you can tap your paintbrush on another paintbrush or a marker or just something gently, and then you will get splatters. see, I'm going to do some yellow splatters as well. Oh, that looks good. If you want to make a background on it, you can do whatever you want. You guys are the artists, but have fun with this. It's a really cool activity. You can even make cards for people with these beautiful watercolor drop flowers on them. Post your work on the Flipgrid so that I can see it. I would love to see what you guys are doing, and other people would love to see it too, I'm sure. So anyway, you guys have fun with this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.